Good morning, everybody. Old guy in Colorado again. You can call me Tom. Mrs. Old Guy in the back with the camera. Good morning, Mrs. Old Guy.
Good morning.
So today we're going to do sausage gravy and biscuits for 2 people. That way, you know, if it's just you and like me and Mrs. Old Lady, me and Mrs. Old Guy, we don't want to make a great big batch of biscuits just for the 2 of us. So I'm going to do biscuits for 2 and gravy. So here we go. I've got 1.5 cups of flour. And in this little dish, I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and just a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. I'm going to put that in there. And here we've got 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking soda. And in here we've got 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. All right, I'm going to dump all those together and I'm going to go into my food processor with it. Put that in here. Alright. Knock that off. And right here I've got 4 tablespoons of nice cold butter. We're going to throw that in here. I kind of cut it up into some little squares, and this will help it get mixed in really well. And just like making a pie crust, you want to try to get your butter into nice little small little pieces. So just kind of pulse this a few times. That looks pretty good. Now that's mixed together, and you can see just a little tiny little nuggets of butter. Okay, there we go. And now we've got to add a little bit of buttermilk to that. You can use regular milk if you want. I just happen to have some buttermilk handy, and we're going to want 1/2 cup, more or less. Sometimes it's not quite enough, so you might need to add another couple of ounces. So between 1/4 and 1/3 cup of buttermilk or milk. Get a spoon here. Alright, get that out of the way. I do have my oven. My oven's already hot. 450 degrees. You want a really hot oven for this. We're just going to mix these up, and here in a minute we'll start rolling them out. Just want to try and get these 2 mixed in together here. And I want to say thank you for coming back and watching my video here. This is the 2nd one I've done. I hope you guys like them. If you like what I'm doing, just leave a little comment. If you have a suggestion or something you'd like to see me do or whatever, let me know in the comments section. I would appreciate it. Also, I'm going to ask you to check out Val over at Trippy Foods. I put a link in my description underneath. Go ahead and check out some of the stuff that Val does. Great food reviews, great reviews on roadside attractions, county fairs, stuff like that. I'm going to check them out. Alright, so I'm going to put flour here. I'm going to put just a little bit on the counter here. I'm going to dump this out. We're going to finish mixing this together. You can use a rolling pin if you want when it comes to rolling this out. Because it's such a small batch, I just use my hand and kind of flatten it out. If you want to be precise about it and use a rolling pin to get even thickness all the way, that's cool too. A little bit more there, I can feel. Alright, feels pretty good. Don't want to overwork the dough. You don't want to melt the butter. You just want to get things mixed in real well. Now I'm going to use a small mouth ball jar lid to cut them. You can use a large one if you want, you know, the big mouth. You can use a cookie cutter, whatever. I was just discussing with Mrs. Old Guy whether or not I could use a donut cutter and leave a little well for gravy, but that'll be for another experiment. Okay, so we got about a 1/2 inch thick. I'm going to go through and cut those out. Yeah, get a couple more. Super yummy. A lot of times I make my own breakfast sausage. This time I just got sausage from the store, and we'll get to that in a minute. That's close enough. All right. Grab a baking sheet. All right. I'm going to put these on here. Now kind of round them back out and make them just a tad bit thicker. Squish it in. Want a nice, at least 1/2 inch down there. That looks pretty good. We'll pop these into the oven. It takes about between 9 and 13 minutes. It sort of depends on your oven. I'm going to set this for 9 minutes. Alright, and then here in a second I'm going to clean up this little mess, and then we'll get to making the gravy. Alright, well, we got biscuits in the oven. They're cooking, and we're going to get some sausage gravy made here now. Let's turn it on. Go into the fridge and get the sausage. What I have here is just regular breakfast sausage. That's equal to about 4 regular breakfast links or a couple of sausage patties. But about roughly 4 ounces there. And sometimes it tends to be a little too lean, so I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil to the pan here. Need to have that fat in there so we can make a decent gravy. Alright, so throw that in there. Give myself a little more light. Just kind of smash this up. Let it do its thing here. Sausage will cook up pretty quick. I'll kind of work it like this and smash it and move it around while I'm getting going so that it breaks up. If I don't do this, it's going to kind of turn into like little chunks, and I want it a little more, I don't know, spread out. I'm not sure how to say that. Just not quite so chunky. I want a little finer grain on my gravy, I suppose. Okay, starting to get some heat, frying up. Super simple. For 2 people, this is pretty quick. Less than 20 minutes, start to finish. All right, we'll finish getting this browned up, and then we'll get back to putting together the rest of it. Okie doke. Well, so the sausage is done, and it looks, come on over here, Mrs. Old Guy. It looks just a little bit dry. Sometimes the sausage doesn't have much in the way of fat, so this is just a tad bit dry. So I'm just going to add a little bit of butter, maybe another teaspoon or 2 teaspoons. That's probably about 1.5 teaspoons or so. That's a little better. All right. Now the fun part, we get to add the flour. And I'm going to add roughly 3 to 4 tablespoons of flour. We'll kind of add it and see what it looks like as we go here. But what we want to do is absorb up all the oil and fat that's in here. Come on up over here, Mrs. Old Guy, and get a decent look at this. It looks nice and dry, which is a good sign. Shows all my oil is being absorbed. All right, that's good. I'm going to grab some milk. Regular old-fashioned whole milk here. And this is roughly going to be about between 1.5 cups and 2 cups of milk. Oh, there's my biscuits. Let's shut this timer off and take a look. My, they look beautiful. Coming out of the oven, look at that. Nice big fluffy biscuits. Look good, huh?
Yeah, they do.
Alright, so we're going to finish making this gravy here. That pan was not hot. I'm going to turn up my heat so that it brings it up to a boil a little bit quicker. And we're almost to the home stretch here, folks. Almost to the home stretch. Gravy's starting to get thick. Now, here's the thing about this gravy. It'll cool, it'll thicken as it cools, like a lot of this stuff. So don't think you're getting it too thin while it's in the pan, because it will thicken up a little bit as it starts to cool. So it all depends on how thick you like your gravy. Some people like it super thick. Some people like it really runny. I kind of like it there in the groove. Alright. And I'd say that's about a cup of milk that I put in there, more or less. Okay. And then there's one last little thing I like to add. It's certainly, well, let's see, get this stuff out of the way so I can put the milk back. Oh, where is it? There it is. Okay. So I got a little bit of chicken base. The better than bouillon stuff. I'm going to put in about 1/4 teaspoon. Just a little bit. But that little bit adds some nice flavor to your gravy. Just about 1/4 teaspoon. Mix that in real well. We have biscuits and gravy. Now let's get some on the plate. Okay, so we're ready to serve. Let's grab a biscuit here. You want 1 or 2, Mrs. Old Guy?
1, please.
1 biscuit. I'm going to have 2. Alright. Cooking myself an egg. I like an egg on top. Shut that off. Alright. That good? Want some more?
That's good.
Okay. And we'll throw a egg over top. Alright. And there you have it, Mrs. Old Guy. Come up and get a shot of this. Biscuits and gravy for 2. About 20 minutes time. I'm going to sit down and eat. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you like what you see, please hit my subscribe button. There's going to be a lot more coming up. I'm going to be doing one every week, at least, maybe a couple a week. We'll see how things go. Again, check out Val over at Trippy Foods. I got a link in the description down below. I'm also going to put the entire recipe down below in the description area. And enjoy. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.